In this video, I'm going to explain how anybody can become more motivated, including you, and what you're going to want to know and learn about yourself so you can maximize your ability to become more motivated at any time on command. Big statements, I know. So to get the motivation party started, let's define the two different types of motivation. You got intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is your internal desire to get stuff done, what most people think of when you think about being motivated. Extrinsic motivation are external rewards and praise. It can come in the form of pay, accolades, job well done, buddy, all that kind of good stuff. But what people are really trying to control the most is the intrinsic motivation. That's the internal desire and drive to make stuff happen. Regardless of what motivates you, whether it's achievement, power, belonging, this will still cover you in terms of how you're going to increase your ability to get motivated. Why motivation is incredibly important. In order to get confidence, confidence is a skill that you build. It's not something you have to be born with. Confidence is a skill that you build by taking action. In order to take the action, you have to have the motivation to make the action begin. And then once you start making things happen, taking the action, you start building confidence over time through repetition and practice and persistence. That leads to competence. And then through competence and time, you can go into flow state. Flow state is like the superhuman element of being a human. But to get to flow state, you have to get started. So in order to get started, you got to be motivated enough to make that first move. Everything begins with motivation and taking that first step. So there is no way to overstate how important motivation is, how important it is that you can learn how to control your motivation, learn how to become more motivated, and consistently stay motivated over time, because everything comes behind starting with motivation. The neuromodulator and hormone that affects motivation the most, by far and large, is dopamine. So dopamine is the control center of how you're going to regulate your level of motivation, how you're going to increase it, how you're going to continue it over time and maintain it consistently over time, I should say. Many people are struggling with motivation right now because they're struggling with their level of dopamine and the type of dopamine that they're getting from their bodies. We have all these external drugs and things that increase dopamine levels dramatically. For example, chocolate increases dopamine by 55%. Sex and nicotine increase dopamine by 100%. Cocaine increases dopamine by 225%. And amphetamines increase dopamine by 1,000%. Social media and other potential harmful things also cause incredible spikes in dopamine levels. So the point being that if you're getting your dopamine levels spiked nonstop, and having these high dopamine levels, you're putting your body in a position that it does not need dopamine. It does not crave dopamine, which means you're not going to crave and need or want to do the things that naturally increase your dopamine. For example, take two people. One person's been eating junk food all day long. The other person has not eaten anything, just drinking water all day long. Get to the end of the day at 5 o'clock. There's a steak dinner waiting off in the distance. A few obstacles between here and there. Who do you think is going to be more motivated to go get that steak? The one that's been eating junk food and crap all day, or the one that hasn't been doing anything but drinking water all day and is starving? You guessed it, that guy. That's what we do, and that's what we're doing with ourselves. And next thing you know, you find yourself in this place where you're just like, your brain's like mush, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get more motivated? I've been down this road many years, trying all forms and fashions of how to get more motivated and stay motivated, more importantly. And I have a way that is very healthy, that is consistent, and anybody can apply it and do it. So check it out. Number one thing to know about dopamine is how to administer dopamine. I call it administering because it's like you really are inducing this dopamine into your body throughout the day the proper way to make it drip into your system all day long. Management and balance is key. 3 basics that anybody can get and do. Proper sleep, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is optimal. Proper diet, eating well, avoiding the junk food, not getting overweight so you get slow, tired, and demotivated. And then number 3, working out, fitness of some sort on a regular basis. If you properly balance out those three things, you will not have to engage in all the other things like nicotine, caffeine, Adderall, whatever the case is, because you're not getting enough sleep and you're not staying fit, you're not eating well, probably not putting the right things in our bodies. When you do all those things and go against the grain with everything that your body's designed to be healthy, of course you're going to have to go through these externals that keep your body moving beyond its own ability. And trust me, over time, it catches up with you. Let me explain how you can properly manage that so that you don't have those problems. This is going to be about learning about you. It's not complicated. It's not going to take a lot of time. I never did this before. I wish like hell I had done this way earlier. Go to, and I'll put a link down below, 16personalities.com. It's a free test and it will give you your personality so you start understanding what it is you're working with. That is vital to understand how to manage your dopamine levels. And I'll tell you why. Think about this. Let's just say somebody gives you a car. You have no idea about what the car has suspension-wise, engine-wise, everything. You're just totally clueless. But you got to take a trip from Florida to California, across the entire country. You're going to want to know, is it gas or is it electric? What kind of gas mileage it gets or how long of a distance it gets of the electrical charge. You got to know and understand what car you're dealing with so you can understand which path to take to get from A to B. That's the same thing with your body. You need to understand how your brain works, how your personality works, so you understand your strengths and your weaknesses. You can leverage the shit out of your strengths and you can minimize your weaknesses if you understand what it is you're working with. So I highly suggest to do this first. It's well worth your time and it will pay off tenfold down the road. After you do that, take a minute, take more than a minute. Take a couple hours. Write down the vision of your future over the next 5 years so that you understand what the destination is, which direction you're going and why you're going there. And then you want to start a goal setting process, a very simplified goal setting process. I have a video that I'll put another link below, how to get more done in 12 weeks and most get done in 12 months. Habits and routines. Good habits and a routine are the infrastructure for you to create what it is you're trying to create. If you don't have the time pre-built into the next day so that you can get your proper amount of sleep, get a workout in, and have time to eat the right food throughout the day, it's not going to happen. It's not going to just slide into your routine. Oh, I got a little extra time here or there. If your schedule's like my schedule, it's not going to happen unless I decide it's going to happen, put what time it's going to happen, and make it happen at that time. Routines and habits don't take your freedom away in any way, shape, or form. They actually do the exact opposite. They give you freedom. They give you time to put in your schedule to take time and do other things outside of work, to do your workouts, to eat properly, to spend time with other people. Because again, if you don't schedule those things in, they're not going to happen. And self-discipline. Self-discipline is keeping a promise you made to yourself. And by keeping a promise made to yourself over time will build confidence. So when you make promises to yourself, do not fail yourself. In other words, when you say I'm going to do something and you actually follow through and do it, it starts to mean something. So it's extremely important that you can start trusting yourself that when I say I'm going to do this, I follow through and I do it. Because if you can't keep those promises to yourself, you're most likely not going to be able to keep promises to other people. And then if you do that and you're just doing it to other people and you're not doing it for yourself, you're probably not taking care of yourself. And not taking care of yourself is a tragedy. You can't do more for others if you're not taking care of yourself. You can't do what you should be able to do for others if you're not taking care of yourself. So take care of yourself first so you can do the things you want to do for other people. It's not selfish. It's actually being selfless because you're actually taking the time to invest in yourself and put the effort into yourself and the love into yourself so that you can be healthy and do those things you want to do for the people around you. And then last but not least, self-talk. This is one that a lot of us struggle with. Self-talk in a positive way, that is. Because we can have patience galore with other people around us in some cases. But when it comes to us, we are intolerable. We look at ourselves and have zero patience, zero forgiveness, zero love for that matter sometimes. And that has such an impact on how you think about yourself and how you think in general about things around you. And since you're trying to create motivation and balance the dopamine throughout your body, when you talk negative or down to yourself, it plunges your dopamine. You can bring on depression, anxiety, and other things. I want you to think of it like this. If somebody talked down to you, would that motivate you? If somebody encourages you, does that motivate you? We have to talk to ourselves just like we want other people to talk to us, or how we want to talk to other people. It makes such a difference on how you view yourself, and how you view yourself has a lot to do with how you motivate yourself. You're reaffirming what you think about yourself, what your brain is telling you, and what your brain is doing in your body, the chemicals it releases, the hormones it releases. You have to take care of your body and your mind as if it's the most important thing in your life, because it is. Without that, you can't do anything else around you. You can't do things for other people. You can't do things the best you're able to do them. Your abilities have so much to do with how much you enjoy life, how much you want to continue to do, what you're capable of doing, more importantly. So you want to maximize all these things and take good care of yourself, so that you can do those things. And when you do that, motivation comes in doses you cannot imagine. You will get up off the couch and do things that you before couldn't force yourself to do, even if there was a gun at your head, because you start feeling good. It's a cycle. It takes a little bit more effort to start sometimes, but once you get the cycle going, it's just like anything else. It becomes your routine. It becomes a habit that you're doing. You have good habits. You start feeling better about yourself, and over time, you're just a machine. Like I said in one of my other videos, you become a feel-good hormone producing machine. And that's what you're creating in yourself. So if you start and stick with this, I guarantee you it will increase your motivation no matter what the situation is. Take the personality test, click the links, get the tools you need to do it, and I'll be here if you have any questions, any comments about anything else that can help. Love to have that input. Thanks for being here. Peace.